Welcome to Saturn retrograde's return to Pisces. Until November 28th, be ready for some change to come in. Now that Saturn is back in Pisces, the retrograde will go direct when we get to that November 28th date. Pisces is all about transition. There's a lot of things that have to do with Pisces in terms of like spirituality and veil work and our gifts within the spirit. But really, it's about change and the sacrifices that it takes to make those transitions from one position to the other. So if you have any final sacrifices to make, more than likely they're going to get reconsidered during this time period. Normally I don't have a book in my hand, but I just had this idea and I don't really want to put this down, so we're gonna roll with it, okay? We're gonna roll with it. Unironically, also, it is a book about time. Saturn is a god of time. We're gonna move on though. So with these transitions that are coming up, Saturn being retrograde in Pisces, we have these kind of bigger changes in position. Of course, with the North Node in Pisces and the September 7th eclipse in Pisces, that is going to be sort of like a really large change to be expected, right? But coming up until November 28th, we also have to think about where Pluto is right now in Aquarius, partially ruled by that Saturn. And this is the first season of Scorpio that we're going to have Pluto in Aquarius for the entire time, which means we're going to be letting go of an entire era of Pluto in Capricorn. So with the death and the revival and the rebirth and the letting go and the grieving and like that whole Scorpio process that happens in Scorpio season, we have Saturn's help with its retrograde in Pisces to really get into it. I, as someone who am Saturn ruled and Scorpio ruled, I am really into the hierarchical death and restructuring. That's just a part of my life. So what I will say is that be very really detailed about it. Really think about it. This looks like that underwater fish that has the light on it. Moving on though. A little bit of LOL, hopefully. Lean into the details of it and you just honestly have to go for it. Like the hesitation can't be there. Sit, think, rethink about it, debate about it if you need to, about the changes and the sacrifices, what is worth it, what is not. But this is a time where if you are really trying to make a lot of big change for yourself, you could grab a hold of whatever that change is and it will become. Granted, you do the work. That's part of Saturn's energy. So if you're looking at massive shifts in your life and you're like, actually, you know what? That is the truth. That is what I want. It's undeniable, which is a lot about what this Pisces eclipse on September 7th is helping us realize is what in our life is the undeniable truth. So we have the help of the eclipses, which I'm actually very grateful for. On a personal level, there's a lot more to it than that, but in that simple note, right? Okay. So here we go. Let the eclipse show you. Saturn retrograde in Pisces is going to help with those transitions. And we're looking at, in the retrograde of Saturn, the big picture. In the big picture, this is what my life is going to be. In the big picture, XYZ. This is it. So then looking at that when Saturn goes direct again after November 28th, then we're going to be looking at making sure that those transitions become a little bit more actualized in the physical world and maybe a little bit less like conceptual. It's time to maybe get some of the work done here on the physical plane. Not that the Saturn retrograde doesn't ask us to do that, because it definitely does, but it'll be more about moving forward and making sure that we can land in the position that we asked to be in. And then February 14th is going to be when Saturn re-enters Aries, so a lot of those bigger transitions, we've got the foundation and the setup before that time. I do have up on my Substack and on my YouTube a reading and a little bit further of a breakdown of the astrology of Saturn retrograde in Pisces and then Saturn going direct in Pisces. Lots of prayers answered. That was kind of the big message. Lots of gifts, lots of things that are going to help to lift up. So if you're interested in that, it's another resource that I have up and available. I think that's kind of it for now. Gratitude, reverence, and love to you. I hope that your brew is going well within this eclipse season. I have gotten back to my studies, clearly. So I'm gonna, after I edit this video and put captions on it, I'm going back to reading. And I'll talk to you soon. Keep up the brew you do. I clearly am going to also. Yeah, happy eclipsing. Here we go.